So last Sunday, I went snowboarding for the first time, and it was in Keystone, Colorado, and it was a good experience. But something bad happened, and I'm gonna go through it each step by step and what I think about snowboarding overall. So my thoughts is snowboarding is addicting. I want to go back and do it again. Simplified by the fact that when you snowboard, there's like many mountains you can snowboard, and it's not just one path when you snowboard. There's like it's a river that branches off into more branches. So you start at the top of the hill, at the top of the mountain, I mean, and you can choose like an easy route, a very difficult route, or a hard one. I mean, or a less hard one. And then you go down this route that you choose, and there's hundreds of people in each route. It's like non-stop clones, and you go down, and then it branches off into two paths or maybe three, and you're like, which one should I choose? And you choose one, and then you run into the same thing again. You have to choose a different path every time, and you never know what you're gonna get. It might be very steep, it might be very kid friendly and easy. You just never know. So when I went down this mountain for the first time at Keystone, it was at Summit. uh I was kind of addicted because I'm like, I gotta go back up again and try every single route, do every route before I get out of here. So now I understand why people go and snowboard from early morning to closing and do it again the next day, the whole weekend. And even then, I don't think you could get, I think you could get through every single route if you are diligent, but most of the time you just want to enjoy your snowboarding experience. So I think like a good 3 days, you can get every route through the mountain. So let's start from the beginning. I arrived there, put on my gear, walked into this place at Keystone where you could probably Google it. It's the little village in Keystone, and there's like all these shops. It's a nice little place, like a little village. And there's this pizza shop that I ate later, which I'll go into. So you go in, and then you just see this hundreds of people just like in this center, and they're all lining up to go on this lift to take you to the top of the mountain. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? Never seen so many people here on a mountain. And I thought the amount of people at the bottom, at the village, was a lot. I'm like, wow, I thought there'd be like maybe like 50 people here, occasional vacation. They charge you 150 bucks for a day pass, right? So with 50 people, that's some good revenue per day. But no, there's hundreds and hundreds. So this place is making bank. And I got myself thinking, maybe I should open up a business here, buy a mountain, get a loan to buy a mountain and build my own resort. Man, maybe that's a possibility. Who knows? So I go up this lift after I do my check-in and go to use the restrooms. Let me tell you, there's hundreds of different people, different ethnicities, different everything. I go up, and this lift takes this lift is going like 15 miles per hour. It's going up the hill fast, up the mountain. And it takes like 6-8 minutes to get up to the top. And it takes 5 minutes or 3 minutes to get to the first stop. And I'm like, oh wow, we're already at the top. Like it's a pretty big distance. But I'm like, nope. There's still a second stop, the summit. So we go all the way to the top, right? And then we get to the top, and I'm shocked, guys. Like, I never knew there were so many people on top of a mountain at one time. I think there was at least 500 people on top of this mountain when I got there. 500 people, all crowded, walking around, skiing, snowboarding. I look to my right. There's people just zooming down the mountain. I'm like, it's like they're going off a airplane, parachuting into like a war zone. Just, soldiers going in. Bah! I'm like, whoa, you got the snowboarders, you got the skiers. And then, so I'm just walking, following my group of family. And we go to this green zone, which is like the beginner section. And we go there. With my gear, and I start practicing. Man, let me tell you, if you've never snowboarded before, it's really about knowing how to brake, and that's really it. If you know how to brake in different positions, you can go down a mountain. But it's so hard when you start because you don't know how to find your balance. You literally have to eat a lot of snow to get your balance. So I honestly, guys, I think I fell over 100 times that day, like on my back, on my butt, on my chest. I think I got a concussion that day because I felt boom right on the back of my head on like my first fall. I was like, no, but I gotta curl my neck so I don't destroy my brain. It hurt. And that was the start of a rough day because I probably suffered many injuries that day, and that's less than a week ago. But so I'm going down this little green hill, right? All the beginners are at where the tourists are being taught by the staff. So I'm just going down, boom, walking back up, going back down. You can honestly have a great day just in that little zone because that's just a practice zone. You practice how to brake. Next time I want to practice my S's because if you can do an S, you can go down any 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 steep slope, even the most extreme. You just gotta practice and practice more. But once you get the S down, you can go down the intermediate, maybe even the black zones. They're called diamond zones where it's like extremely hard. So, anyways, I go practice. It's honestly the hours went by quick. We got there like around 10, and by the time I'm like really going hard, it's already 1, and I'm like, whoa, this time is flying by. So, boom, boom, and then this is where it gets kind of like tricky. So my group they split up. My sister went to go down the mountain with another family member, and the other part of my group went to this restaurant just to like go use the restroom, and it was just me for a good 5 minutes by myself, at least 5, 7, 8 minutes, 10. I'm not sure where they're at this point. They didn't tell me where they were going. They just assumed I would stay there, but they didn't know my personality well enough. So I kept practicing, guys, and when I keep practicing and I feel like I'm confident that I'm able to do this, I take the risk and I do it. It's just part of my nature now. Given that I run a small lawn care business, you gotta take risks. And I literally had that same mindset. I'm like, I'm not gonna wait to get babied through this mountain. And now, guys, this is the mistake. Even though I still feel confident I can go down that mountain injury free, because I did it, I got hurt, which I'll go, but you should still have somebody with you going down the mountain the first time to lead you the way and teach you the basics. Because if you go in by yourself, you're gonna hurt yourself really bad. Even as talented as me, even on my first day, guys, on my first day, I was able to go down an intermediate route and part of a black route, like a black trail, which is like for like experienced people, very practiced people. Like if it's your first day, it's likely none of you are gonna do it, but I was able to do partial one. But I was able to go down a whole mountain on my first day. But let me get back to the point without bragging. So I went down this mountain, guys, because I was like, well, nobody's here. I'm gonna just go down this mountain and meet them back up here. They'll probably be back by the time I finish this mountain because they weren't coming back anytime soon, according to my calculations, because I haven't seen them for 10 minutes. I'm like, ooh, they're busy doing the mountain themselves. So I go down this mountain, right, and I'm going down. I fall like 3 times just working up the courage to slide down this mountain. And by like 20 meters in, there's no going back. I'm not gonna walk my way back up. There's too many people coming down, and the momentum is carrying me down. So I'm just like braking, falling. Okay, and then I get the confidence like there's no going back. I gotta do this or I'm screwed. So I'm just following the pack, just going slow. There's people to my right, there's people to my left, just zooming down this mountain. It's like Avengers Endgame. So I'm going down, and I'm just like shocked. The view of the opposing mountains on the other side, the amount of people just going down this mountain like that, they're going to war. And I'm just like, man, brace yourself. Boom, brake, turn. I'm trying to practice my S's, but I'm like, nah, I don't have it yet. I don't have that skill yet. And that's going to lead to something later on that's going to happen big time. But I'm just braking. I fall. I get up. And I'm like, dang, this is embarrassing. Nobody's falling as many times as me. And of course, I'm a beginner. It's my first day. Many of these people here have probably been here at least 5 times, or at least the second time if they're going down this route. Like, I doubt there's anybody on their first day going down this intermediate route, guys. Intermediate route on your first day. I'm probably the only person that day that went down this route. And I'm hanging in there. I'm just going braking. Just, side to side, going down this mountain. And, I go down and there's like a trail where people just split off. And then I remember the first split off point, there's like to my right, all the skiers just went like sardines. You know how they're all uniform in Nemo? Like I just saw a bunch of skiers go down this steep slope. I'm sure it was a diamond route, and I just saw them go, boom, disappear. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not going there. Turn to the left right away. So I'm like, all right, past this break off point, let's continue on the original route. Boom, going down, going down. I see another point where we're starting to go down like this. Oh man, I gotta show you like the map on the screen. But in fact, it'll be the thumbnail. No, it'll be something else. But just look up Keystone map or snowboarding map or skiing map. Google it, and you're gonna see the mountain. Like start from the summit, and you'll see all the paths just splitting into different parts, right? So I'm going down the original route, and there's more break off points. I'm sticking with the people that are less experienced. I can tell who's not as experienced and who's an expert. So I'm just sticking where the less experienced people are at, going down this intermediate route. And I see this like nice little ramp area. So I reach this ramp area where we can go like this, like do stunts and all. That's where like where a lift can drop you off from the base, from the ground floor, from the ground level, I mean. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a checkpoint. I won't forget this. So I pass that, and I keep going forward. And then there's this one place that said it was like a family like school area type of thing. And then to the left, it was another steep drop off that I saw people go down. I'm like, maybe every 10 seconds, there'd be like 1 or 2 people that go down it. And the rest of the 10s and 20s of people will go down the regular original route. And I'm like, at this point, I got a good enough experience going down this mountain. I've traveled at least half the mountain already, or 3/5 of it. So I'm like, you know what, F it. I'm gonna go down this scary ass one, because you know I want to test my limits. I don't want to like chicken out. So I take a left. I'm going against my instinct of fear in a way. It wasn't really scared, but I was like, man, I gotta make a decision quick. Let's do it. Adrenaline, right? Lack of fear. So I go down, and I'm like, holy shoot, this thing is steep. I might slip here, so I'm controlling it really well for the first 10 seconds, 5 seconds or so. And I'm like, dang, this is too steep. I don't know how to brake at this velocity, at this steepness yet. And boom, I slip on my butt. I'm like, okay, get back up. It's okay. I can see the flat, like the curve where it starts to flatten out. It's not too far. It's like probably 40, 50, 60 meters away. Yeah, 60 meters away or 50. Not too far away. But I try to get back up, and I slide like 5 meters, guys. I'm like, if I try to stand up again really fast, I might fall on my face and slide all the way down and probably go off the course, like off the area, and go into like the piles of snow where the trees are at and just sink. I'm like, oh, that won't be good. Like, I probably won't die, but like it's gonna be tough. I could scream for help or something. People will be near enough to see me. So I'm like, you know what? Try again, stand up. So I try to stand up, and I can't get back up. Like, thinking back, what I should have done is I should just laid on my butt, flipped over onto my chest like a star, like that, and then just slowly descend, like stood back up, but started just brake, like go down the slope, braking at the same time, but facing the opposite direction, not facing down the hill, but facing up the hill, because that would have given me a better chance to stabilize myself. But on the other hand, if I would have done that, I did not know how to transition really well from facing up the hill to now facing down the hill. So even if I had braked really slowly, if I had tried to like transition, I probably would have fell back, landed on my head, or fell backwards and just slid all the way down really bad. Now that I think about it, but who knows? I don't know. We'll never know. I'll have to try it in the future once I'm more experienced. But I get back up. I slide down again. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna decide to slide down this steep hill, guys. This is the part of the trail, guys. So so let me take you. If any of you have been to Keystone, you know what I'm talking about. You know which path I'm about to explain. So at the top of the summit, there's the green area where you go down, and then there's that little lift that takes you back up like some stairs, so you can practice again, right? So right next to it, let's say you're on the right side, facing north, right? On the right side, there's the blue intermediate route. So you go down that one. That's the one I took. and then you go advance all the way, and then there's the path that branches off that takes you to the Peru lift. So if any of you have been down there, you know that that branch off that's kind of steep. It's like, I think I said it was dangerous or very steep, not for beginners or something, like some cautiously put words there, like it was to let you know this is not easy. And that's probably what got to me in my ego. I'm like, I can do it. Come on, first day, of course. So then that's the path that I took where this incident happened. So I'm trying to get back up and I can't. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take the safe route. I'm going to do the safe route and just slide on my butt all the way to the area where it's not as steep, and then get back up there and, snowboard the rest of the way. And the rest of the way was pretty easy after that. I just happened to mess up at the worst part. So I decided to slide down, and I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. No one's going to hit me. No one's behind me about to crash into me. And then what I did not anticipate, because of my lack of experience, is even if it's a steep hill is likely going to be flat with no barriers, like no bumps to like knock you down, because it's very sharp. It's steep. Due to its steepness, it's more likely to be sharp and smooth on the way down, right? And with less barriers, like less bumps, like I said. So when I was going down this hill on my butt, my board caught a piece of snow that was really hard, like a small different layer of snow. Like the rest of the ground is like this level, and there's another piece of snow that might have been this much higher. I couldn't see it because everything looks the same. It's not too much variability where you can look at it and say, oh, there's a huge bump there, I should move out the way. It was probably something very small but very hard. Like a great example to compare this to is if you're shoveling your driveway after a snowstorm, and then you let it sit for a while, and then you try to shovel it, and then there's ice that you run into, and boom, it like the shovel digs into your chest, your shoulder, wherever. Like it just digs into you and almost like stabs you because it's so hard, right? So I run into that piece of snow down the hill when I'm on my butt, and what went from a safe slide down this hill turned into like near death in a way, because when I hit that at the velocity I was going at, I was probably going down this mountain, this piece of mountain, like at 20 miles per hour, guys, 25 miles per hour. I was sliding fast, even with my hands behind me trying to brake and the board trying to brake, because I was in a crap position. I didn't let my legs fully extend straight, because that seemed dangerous to me, because I could buckle and I could hyperextend my leg. So I'm like, I'm gonna just keep them flexed like this, and kind of brake from the front, kind of brake from the back, and control the descent. It actually doesn't work like that. It's better to be standing up going down a hill like that. So once I hit this piece of like hard snow that felt like ice, it launched me, guys, from the crab walk sitting position, boom, in an instant, and it launched me down the rest of the hill on my chest. It's like I was accepting fate, like I was skydiving, like and slid on my chest like at least 20 meters. I'm sure people behind me saw and they were like, oh my God, this guy died or something. But in that transition where I went from like crab walk to onto my chest, my knees, they flexed inwards, to absorb the impact, but it was too much and I didn't anticipate it. Therefore, my legs were too relaxed and they just bent all the way in. They like hamstring curled to the max. And one of my left knee flexed inwards. I believe it like twisted inwards when it curled in, and it must have like torn maybe a ligament, sprained a ligament, tore my meniscus, something, one of those things, based on the symptoms that I had the very next day and that day of. So I'm like, oh my God, I did not know this at the time, but I felt something. Maybe I could have prevented it because I let my muscles relax all the way through. I'm like, I'm just gonna let them relax, because if you relax, less likely to tear your muscles. But what I didn't expect is if you let them relax too much, you expose your cartilage and ligaments to take the whole load. They're gonna stretch to the max because you didn't use your muscles to slow down that momentum. So when I was going onto my chest, my legs just went like this, like I did a super hamstring curl, like that. If I had resisted, like did a quad extension while I was about to land on my chest, I could have slowed down the knee flexion, and I probably would have been okay with my knee right now, looking back. But now I know it is what it is. So I get back up at the flat part, and I'm feeling something in my knee already. It's horrible. I know it's not good. It's not a bone, it's not a muscle injury, because I know what a muscle injury feels like. It's like soreness. And a bone fracture, I felt it on my upper jaw during the procedure. It didn't feel like that. So I'm like, I felt this feeling before, and it has to be something with my ligaments, my tendons, and worst of all, my cartilage, because man, you don't want your meniscus getting destroyed. And hopefully it's not the case. But the thing that bothered me is, like, I'm now in my early to mid 20s. Next year I'll be 25, so officially mid 20s. You can call me mid 20s now, but it's not like you're a young buck, early 20s, like 21, 22, where you're gonna heal so fast, in my opinion. But I'm like, dang, I gotta bet on my body to make it down this mountain. I better be durable enough still. I'm like, my body better be. I always bet on my body. So I finished this mountain, and I'm like, good. I snowboard the rest of the way, no problem. It's all the adrenaline that I'm feeling at this point, where I'm like, whew, okay, I made it down. So then I finish. I go into the Peru lift, because I exit by the Peru lift. I'm like, okay. My whole family's calling, like, where you at? Where you at? I thought you were dead. We thought you were lost. Blah blah blah. My fault. Go back up the lift, and this is where my inexperience comes in. I get off the lift incorrectly. I was too hasty to get off the lift, where I tripped, fell. My board slammed into the interior part of my leg, the medial part of my leg, and I felt all this pain, all this pressure just onto my knee, and I'm like, I'm cooked. That was the icing on the cake that solidified that I have a really bad knee injury, because when I did that impact, normally something like that wouldn't really mess me up, but once I felt the pain, I'm like, oh man, I was already exposed from the previous fall, and this one just exacerbated this injury. I'm cooked, and I can feel it, even with all this adrenaline. So I'm like, let me just get off this mountain and see what I got going on. So I finished this mountain with one of my group members, family, and just go down this mountain. I'm falling a lot more at this time. I looking back, my compromised knee affected my results to brake effectively and all that, because I was trying to learn the S's at this point so I don't fall and injure myself again. But by trying to do that, my knee injury exposed my decreased strength and stability, and I was falling way more. I'm like, I'm probably gonna get injured again on my back if I don't chill out. So I just went back to basics, stuck with what I knew, and just finished the rest of the route. And then I was like, I'm addicted. I want to come back. I'm thinking about buying gear. I'm thinking about buying all this stuff and coming back the next weekend. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just go eat. So we decided to go eat. I'm feeling the pain on my knee, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna eat. I'm gonna enjoy this experience. But overall, guys, the pain subsided because I didn't want to think about it. I sat in a comfortable position. I ate the pizza at the village. I enjoyed my time there, and the day went by so quick. A day hasn't gone by that fast since doing a big landscape project, to be honest. So, yeah, my thoughts on snowboarding, it's addicting. Now you know how my injury happened, and take somebody who's experienced and don't try to, be too impulsive and believe in your abilities, even though you should. But like, it's better to just be cautious and do it the right way, because I've never been injured to this extent. I've had some like serious injuries in the past where like I messed up my groin and I had to heal for months. I had a knee injury in the past where I took a whole summer off, but I never had to use crutches, guys. I've never had to use crutches or been recommended to use crutches. So I was like, dang, this is like a level beyond those injuries where I had to sit months out. So this has to be at least a few months of healing. And fortunately, this happened at possibly the best time out of the whole year, because I don't have to work at this time because I'm chilling. It's the summer for lawn care. So I'm chilling, guys. But I need to be back in shape, back healthy by by March, so 2 months from now, and definitely by April, so 3 months maximum. So by March I should be walking, guys. That's what I hope for. But April I should be 100%. I need to be 100%. So yeah, snowboarding, guys. Back to the main point of the video. Snowboarding is awesome. Keystone was great. I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna buy a bunch of gear, but I'm gonna take somebody experienced with me. And this next time, I'm just gonna practice on that beginner's route, and probably spend the whole day there mastering my breaks, mastering my S's, and then go do the intermediate path again. But given that I could do the whole intermediate mountain path pretty good, except for that freak accident, because that was like the possibility or the probability of that happening is very unlikely. Like falling at that position, sliding into that hard piece of snow, to me it was just very unlucky. It's possible, it's probable if you're messing up like me, but it ain't gonna happen to everybody, because I didn't see anybody else fall like myself that day. So I did the most to get the worst outcome, really. So if I do the least, I'll be all right. So yeah, this does not discourage me from snowboarding ever again. I want to go back and snowboard. I plan on doing it out of like spite, because I don't want to be left traumatized from that snowboarding incident. There's little kids that can do the whole mountain. I'm like, I can do it. I just need to be patient and master it. And this injuries on that mountain will never happen again, guaranteed. Because I'll be ready. I know how to brake. I know how to brace for impact. I'll be prepared to use my muscles to prevent injuries. I'll be stronger than ever, of course. So, and also what I learned is buy the season pass, because if you're very outdoorsy, you like to test your limits, you're physically active, and you believe in the resilience of your body, then you're most likely going to take risks. And this mountain is going to tempt your ego. It's going to stroke it when you succeed it, and you're going to want to go back on it again and try to break your limits again. So buy the season pass if you know you're going to like it on the first date, or even if you consider or possibly know you're going to like it, just buy the season pass. So you can go a whole weekend, master the whole mountain, and then you can chill out for the rest of the year and go every other weekend. So those are my thoughts. That's my experience. Without the injury, it would have been 10 out of 10, but with the injury, gotta rate it lower. But everything's good. The comeback will be great. And yeah, snowboarding is awesome. Be safe, be precautious. And yeah, just be precautious.